Hello, beautiful people. I'd like to just talk today. I would like to cover the subject of the Rife and GMO foods. I think it's very important because no one's covered it, because I've actually been doing this experimentation on myself for about 2 days, and I've discovered some really alarming things about GMOs. This is going to blow your mind, so please tell a friend. Now, what I've discovered about GMOs, that's genetically modified organisms, is this. Now, I have a Rife. It's spelled R-I-F-E, and it was designed by Royal Rife. And what it is a, how can I explain it? It's a micro current frequency generator, okay? Now, in the Rife, you get a book, and this book has settings from curing cancer, curing chemtrails, curing UFA or low frequency alpha waves, AIDS, anxiety, allergies. I'm just going through the A's right now. Muscle pain, nausea, obesity. Now, let me get back to obesity. Let me tell you what I've been doing, okay? Exactly what I've been doing, because I know about like the scientific method and how to develop a hypothesis. Now, my scientific hypothesis is this. The guys that designed GMOs actually designed GMOs to be parasitic. Parasites. They actually design little parasitical microscopic organisms. Once they come in contact with humans, that's when we digest them. The GMOs automatically become parasitic and answer to specific things or do certain things, which is they attack your liver, they attack your major organs, and the parasites, the big ones, start to build off the GMOs. They use the GMOs as food. But if you don't have any parasites in you, they automatically turn into a parasite and start attacking you. Now, I know this because every time after I eat my toxic ass food that I get from the grocery store, every day I've run the Rife settings, okay? Because what I've actually been doing is the Rife comes with like 2 prongs you can hold, and they release an electric currency. So I've been holding one to my head while in my hand, and you can pick up on the frequency, you can hear it. And then I noticed once you start hearing the frequency, I would hear like these little pops in my head. And what I mean pops, I would mean like little air bubbles popping. Now, what I noticed was every time after I eat the food becomes gastric, and little air bubbles go up to a part behind my nasal cavity. Just a rush of tons of bubbles. And I think this is the GMOs. And the only reason I think this is the GMOs is because when I run the Rife and put it up to my head near my nasal cavity, like say I'll have it like the prong clutched in my hand, and then I'll put it, how can I explain it? I'll put it on my eye, like put a closed fist on my eye. That's to get it as close as I can to my nasal cavity. And then I would hear like a little release of instant pop, 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 pops. Now, what I actually think is the GMOs are pre-programmed organisms, microbiotic organisms, nanotechnology. Now, what I mean by nanotechnology is Nanos are programmed. Now, don't be too alarmed because it's very easy. I mean, we are basically the perfect nano programs, godly nano programs. Our DNA can basically be called the prime perfect nanos because God created them, and our DNA naturally knows what to do. I mean, when you have a kid with a woman, your sperms know naturally what to do with that woman's egg. They naturally know what to do. It's pre-programmed. It's natural. GMOs are unnatural. They're the Nazis and the government experimenting on humans and trying to play God with nanotechnology. So these nanotechnologies are programmed to specifically try to reprogram your DNA is what I suspect. Now, going back to obesity, I've noticed I've gained a lot of weight since I've started eating this toxic food from Texas, and I don't eat that much. I'm a vegetarian, okay? So it doesn't make any sense to me. My metabolism is normal. It's really fast because when I was in Paris, when I was in Romania, I was really fine. Now, obesity, I ran the setting, it's setting 413 on the Rife, and what I noticed was a bunch of pops. Now, scientifically, if this is to happen, what the GMOs are actually doing is they're setting up air bubbles of pre-programmed, maybe other nanos or stuff to my brain to try to reprogram my body. Now, what I'm talking about is obesity is the nanos are trying to program your body to be fat. That's the only thing I can think of, because when I run obesity the last 3 days that I'm doing this, I get the same thing after I eat. And then when I don't eat, when I've cleaned everything out of my system after I've drank water and stuff and flushed it out, nothing happens. Only when I eat GMO foods. So then, how do I know it's parasites? Because the Rife has a parasitic setting on it. It's called parasites. And it's to destroy parasites. So basically, the GMOs create parasites. This is very alarming because parasites are the things that give you cancer, stop your heart. Parasites, some parasites can grow to be over like 10 inches long, yo. I mean, I've seen parasites in a natural holistic doctor's office, a parasite that she pulled out of one woman, and I kid you not, it looks like that guaul shit. I'm not joking. I mean, this is real, and this is no lie. I mean, they can grow to be huge, and she also works with government agents, and she pulls parasites out of them, and they can't believe this thing was in them. So going back to my Rife research and GMO foods, these motherfuckers have designed GMO foods to cater to parasites, to create parasites within us humans. I mean, this is very alarming what I found out. And I mean, every time I eat, after I eat, when my food starts to digest, and let me tell you what I eat. And it's going to be alarming to you what I eat and then what happens. Let's see, yesterday I had some vegetable fried rice, which had vegetables in it. And everybody knows what they've done to GMOs and vegetables, okay, in America. So the GMOs are coming from the vegetables. The other day, I made some guacamole. And I love guacamole. The guacamole seemed to be okay. But then when I put lemon in it, oh my God, I had so much problems, so much gastric problems. I mean, it was ridiculous. Lemons are heavily GMO'd out in the United States. Stay the fuck away from them. Because honestly, I mean, a lemon a day is supposed to keep you healthy. So what they've actually done is they put so much GMOs in lemons It ain't gonna keep you healthy. So then, I do have soy milk, and on the soy milk, actually, I have almond milk, and it says GMO, no to GMO on the box. So that's cool. But the problem is, if I eat some Frosted Flakes with that, it's GMO corn flakes, okay? All corn is GMO'd out in the United States. So that's a big, huge problem, and I don't eat cornflakes anymore. And also, when you get into the veggie patties, I mean, boca patties, all of the vegetarian patties, I mean, that don't even use soy anymore, that are ground up vegetables, because they're ground up vegetables, they're GMO'd out. So, I mean, they've actually GMO'd out all the vegetarian foods that the vegetarians eat. They're specifically attacking us. So I want you to understand what the American government has approved with the FDA and with the farmers and all of that Monsanto's crap. It's absolute poison. It is absolute genocide. And if you don't have a Rife, I strongly suggest you get one, because this Rife I've had, it's been in my family for about 8 years, okay? The man that sold it to my family was a friend of the doctor, and the same doctor that helped Agent Mulder, his name is Eric, and a lot of ex-government agents, because the government kills them or gives them shit. I guess they were giving them shit like GMOs, and Terry would cure them. She's the best. So the person that sold me this Rife through her, because he used to work with her, is in jail for 50 years. Do you know why this man is in jail for 50 years? He is in jail for 50 years for selling rice in the United States because the government made them illegal to sell. And these things are just frequency generators. Now, what I suspect is the American government took the Rife technology and perverted it. What I mean is this. Royal Rife discovered a frequency about obesity, how to retrain your body to not be fat, to tell your cells, okay, all your fat cells vibrate at like this and not like this. A diseased cell vibrates below 50 hertz, and a healthy cell vibrates above, or actually 50 hertz, exactly, okay? So the government, what they actually did is they took the Rife technology and reversed it. Through Project Phoenix and other low alpha ray frequencies, what they've done is they took the Rife frequencies and threw it in reverse. So say the Rife has AIDS frequencies, has frequencies to cure you after a heart attack, and what these motherfuckers just took these frequencies and reversed them to actually attack people, and then incorporated them possibly into GMOs somehow. This is my scientific hypothesis. Now, I want people to really listen, because the Rife technology is incredible and the American government has known about it. Let me tell you the little short story of Royal Rife. Royal Rife was the first doctor to build a microbiotic telescope. Okay, Royal Rife just simply wanted to help people just like me. Royal Rife had a really, really rich friend that was sick from stuff that she had been eating in her kitchen, and she didn't know what was making her sick. So Royal Rife did what I did. Formed a hypothesis, isolated everything in the kitchen, made her write down everything that she ate, what happened after she ate, specifically to her body, how she felt after she ate this, and this. And so he figured out that it was something she was eating in her kitchen. He isolated that, and then he looked at the food under a microscope, and he found it was infected. So then he told her to stop eating this. She got well. She never ever had felt this great in her life, because she had been eating some of this stuff like naturally all her life, and she didn't know what was making her sick. So Royal Rife basically pretty much saved this rich lady's life. So when this lady when this lady died, Royal Rife gave out a bunch of money from her, and what he did was actually build the first microbiotic telescope. That's a telescope that can see inside a cell. Because he was a technician, not a doctor. Just like me, I'm a DJ, and I have my PhD in mixology. So we're always on some scientific shit, okay? So back to Royal Rife. So after this, he discovered that a healthy cell with no diseases, anything, vibrates at 52 hertz. Any cell vibrating below that is a sick cell. Maybe this is where they got the name sickle cell from. Who knows? But anyway, so when the Rife technology, a very, very long time ago, became very prevalent in the medical industry, it was the same time when antibiotics stepped onto the medical scene, and it's before the English demonic Freemason monarch scientific world started to invest in antibiotics, which is a long time ago. Now, there was a huge conference, and Royal Rife was invited to this conference because no one really knew what to choose. It was either between choose the Rife or antibiotics. And so what happened was when Royal Rife went over to Europe, his frequency generator didn't work. Now, you gotta understand he made a mistake, because in the UK, their electric currency is based on a different currency of power. So this would have meant he had to have gone back through all of his settings and everything that he found and readjust them to their currency. So after he figured this out and what he did, it was too late. The medical industry decided to invest in antibiotics. Now, if you know about antibiotics do not heal you. Do not use them, they're toxic. What they are, they don't heal you. What they do is they take away your symptoms, put them in remission. Now, if you all have cancer, you know what remission is. Cancer doesn't go away. It just stops attacking you. That's what the antibiotics do. They make whatever sickness you have stop attacking you. But that sickness and the antibiotics actually fuse. And you're okay for like 3 months, 6 months, sometimes 8 months or a year, 2 years. But that antibiotic and that disease that it attacked has fused and waiting to come back even stronger one day. So then the doctor knows you're going to come back in a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 10 weeks, a month, a year, and he's going to get paid because he's going to have to prescribe stronger antibiotics to combat the last antibiotics and the new stronger disease. This is what happens to you when you take antibiotics. It is not a cure. It is a money-making organism, and that is it. So this is what I found out about the Rife. Get educated, watch your body, listen to your body. All you people out there that are using like liver cleanse and stuff like this, it's not working. What you're actually doing is you're infecting your body even more with the parasites and the GMOs. And if you do not have a Rife, I don't know what to tell you. I'm honestly pretty actually worried about humanity, and I'm blessed that I have a Rife to run experiments on myself after I eat and cleansing my body, because I mean after I eat they're specifically attacking me. Now let me tell you what they're actually doing to me, the government, because I am the first recipient of the Black reparations lawsuit, and I am actually royalty due to my great grandmother and my grandmother. Basically my grandmother was, how can I explain this? Both of her parents were half black, half white. The white side of her family's Breed Love and Lovejoy, you can trace that back up to Royal English lineage, and they were the people that came to the United States under white slavery, called apprenticeships. Now apprenticeships were the people that would come over on the ships, and they would get out of jail by signing their lives away to agree to build up the Americas for the German, British, Nazi monarch that is running the UK today, the people that are in power. So she was half white, half black on both sides of her family, and they were both royal, and her parents had her. Now that's where I get my royal blood from. And still it is considered royal by, I don't know, monarch standards. So then you get into my mother's father, because that's the royal blood is from my father's mother's side. Now when you get into my mother's father's Nuwabi and Moor side, now the Moors were in the United States on this land even before the Indians. The Indians came here via India, thus the name Indians. So there were actually black, well I don't want to say black, I want to say brown, because there ain't no black people. There are actually brown people here, sovereign people here in the United States on this land that I sit on way before the Indians or the Europeans. And the Europeans made the treaties with the Indians, and the Indians had already been at war with the Olmecs, which specifically my tribe is the Blackfoot. Now they were at war for a very long time with the Blackfoots. The Blackfoots were ruthless. I mean, the Blackfoots would ingest large amounts of mushrooms. The women would wrap their babies up in cloths so tight and only put holes so their nose could breathe, the baby couldn't see a thing. And then they throw the babies into their enemies' ground right before they would fight. And the husbands would be like on mushrooms, and they'd go crazy because there'd be their babies, all of their babies, in this field with their enemies, and their enemies wouldn't know what these balls were. So they would just sit there and you know, bounce off their heads because they were really cushioned, and then they just lay on the ground. No baby was ever hurt. But then the Blackfoot Indians, like going crazy with slaughter them. No one could ever beat the Blackfoot. This is my tribe from my mother's father's side. And also, my mother's mother is Haitian Jamaican, and you can trace her lineage back to Haitian Jamaica from France when they were importing slaves from there. And actually in France they were doing that, or the French were actually importing slaves into New Orleans 150 years after the Emancipation Proclamation. Now, if you don't know, to emancipate means to transfer ownership of property to another establishment, which that's what they did. They transferred us via the slaves to the Federal Reserve Corporation. And they gave us $1 million worth. And this whole legal term is called the straw man's bond. It's your birth certificate. If you don't know about it, please look at your birth certificate. The lower right hand number, it's your red number. That's your stock trading number. Where it should say your mother, it doesn't. It says informant. So that legally makes your birth certificate a contract, and this started with the Emancipation Proclamation. The slavery of the Afro-American and Indian and sovereign slaves, they just mix us all in, hoping we forget our history. So all of this makes me sovereign, legally and technically, and then when you get into my father's mother, I'm a royal prince. Now, the American government knows this. They blew up 9/11 because of specifically this. This is the biggest single-handed reason why they blew up and did 9/11, other than the whole simple fact that they wanted to steal and kill millions of people. And what I mean steal is there was the biggest gold heist up under the Twin Towers. Billions of dollars of gold was stolen via the underground train there. So when I get into 9/11, I'm going to turn your attention to Building 3. The third building that blew up, they call it Building 7. Building 7 was the FCC, that's the Federal Trade Commission. If you're a stock trader, you very well know this building. The FCC housed all the slave certificates, all the illegal trading, illegal investing, stock trading, investigations on the Rothschilds, Freemasons, the Illuminati. All of their cases were in that building. Also, all the proof for the Black Reparations lawsuit, who sold my family, who owned who, how much my straw man bond was worth, how much it was traded on the stock market in secret, proving that they knew what they were doing, because my straw man bond, because of my family, is worth billions and billions and billions of dollars because of who I am. And them trading it proved that they knew. Them trading it in secret proved that they knew. So in this building, Johnny Cochran and his team of lawyers were in there for over 7 months, taking pictures, doing research, everything for the Black Reparations lawsuit. The Black Reparations lawsuit was supposed to be filed on September 15th. It wasn't. Bush was supposed to be impeached on September 12th due to the Environmentalist Act, and trust me, I know, because this was based on what he was doing in the National Alaskas. He was actually drilling in the National Alaskas, and Bush is the most evil motherfucker in the world because he's a skull and bones. They are so evil because what they actually did right when he got in office was started drilling in the National Alaskas. And it wasn't for oil people. They're drilling over there looking for something. I don't know what. We don't care. If you drill over there, you're affecting the wildlife. And what has happened is that they caused the polar shift. Now, when we knew this way before 9/11, okay? We knew this would happen. We were walking around telling people this would happen if they continued drilling over in the National Alaskas. To put it simple, it's like this. You have a glass of ice, okay? Now, everyone knows when you have a glass of ice and the water gets cold, the ice fuses and it becomes one mass. Now, what they've actually done is they're drilling over in the National Alaskas, and they're drilling different ice cubes or different land masses off into the water. So what happens? The water rises. So naturally, it has created a polar shift, and we knew this would happen. So now, after no one listened to us and didn't do shit about bush drilling and doing whatever, the polar shift has happened. Just like the environmentalists said it would. Why Clinton passed the biggest environmental bill ever before he got out of office, and then when Bush got into office, he just, it doesn't exist. These are war crimes, people. War crimes now that these Nazis have done, and they've gotten away with it, and no one has done anything. So I know I'm an environmentalist. They've known about me for a very long time. They've known about me since the day I was born. So let me tell you about last night, okay? Now, for all you scientists, I don't have the equipment, but I know good scientists can do this, and I strongly urge you to. This is what they've been doing to me. They have cars and they have machines that shoot low alpha wave frequencies. This is called silent weapons. Now, they've basically silently been trying to kill me, and with GMOs. Because these silent weapons, what I suspect is these silent weapons have programs in them for the DNA or codes that the GMOs respond to, okay? And basically these silent weapons tell the GMOs what to do, how to react, how to send messages to your body, this and this and this. This is all documented in silent sound. These weapons, this technology has been around since 1974. It's 2013. So they've outfitted these weapons into cars. Many of my neighbors are working with these government guys. They stay home and take money to watch me or to turn it on these machines in their home or have them outfitted in their cars. I've not been in their homes, but I can tell where they're coming from, the direction they're coming from. And there's actually a silent weapon pointed at me right now while I'm talking. I can feel it. I mean, it makes my floor vibrate. It makes the walls of my home vibrate. And it's a silent weapon. And they always turn them on after I eat. And then after they're turned on and I'm exposed to these alpha waves, low frequency alpha waves, to get my cells to vibrate at a low vibration. Again, back to Royal Rife, 52 hertz. These machines are designed below 52 hertz. They're designed to make you sick. Simple as this. So they've been doing this to me for the last 8 months. I've known about it. This house was set up for it. There are specific things in this house that are not natural, that lead me to believe that there were government involvement in rebuilding this house that I'm in, and they specifically did things to my family in the last 8 years that I was over in Europe, because I knew my family, other members of my step family, were involved with the shadow government. And so him and them did things to my current family because of who we are. We are royalty. And they got paid for it. My neighbors get paid very good for it, because honestly it'd be a lot cheaper to pay these people nickel and dimes to do nothing but gang stalk me. It's called gang stalking. To gang stalk me rather than to pay my family money, because I have nothing. I have no money. I'm waiting to hear back from my lawyer from a lawsuit. Hopefully I'll get some money after that. But I'm very resilient. Okay? In Paris, I helped blow the lid off what I call HAARP cars. They have them in the United States. They had them in Paris. The Rothschilds were using these HAARP cars and these HAARP frequencies to drive by homes with wireless internet connections and to hack into them, to hide their information, to attack people, to hide digital money, to hide digital codes, because this is when they were starting to try to hide all of their money when the Federal Reserve was being audited. This happened October 2011. This should have happened before 9/11, the first audit on the Federal Reserve. The Federal Reserve is the most evil corporation ever, owned by the Rothschilds, Europeans, not Americans. It's a corporation, the Federal Reserve Bank and Trust. They started the IRS, the illegal IRS, to enforce the no work on tax law, which was never passed. It doesn't exist, Americans. It is completely illegal. So all of you people that have had your property confiscated by the IRS, like my father, because he hired a government IRS bullshit motherfucker that embezzled money from his company and then just disappeared, and then he went to jail. Sound familiar, IRS? So my father had investments in Apple, which would be worth billions and billions of dollars today. My father was the guy who graduated cum laude of his college, was so freaking smart. He had 3 different businesses. He did stuff with Amway. He was the biggest salesman when Amway first started, and we know all the story about Amway, how they claim to be environmentalists, but they're not. Their products were so toxic. They made this stuff that would clean up toxic stuff, but to make this stuff, the process was even more toxic than cleaning up the toxic stuff. So when my father found this out, he got the fuck away from Amway, and they didn't like that. Another government company that he was the head of, and they went after him, and they took everything. So this is why I'm continuously being gang stalked, because of the HAARP cars that I blew out in Paris. Then after that happened, I was attacked, had my arm broken, had my hand broken. I mean, head trauma. I still have 2 missing teeth from my mouth. I mean, I couldn't even eat for a very long time because my jaws wouldn't close. And thank you to that wonderful doctor that helped Agent Mulder. She helped me. It was a freaking miracle that I'm actually talking without a funny lisp, and that I can lay down and my back is okay because of her. She's the best. So this is why they're gang stalking me now. Every day, every night, they're there with these silent weapons. So basically what they're trying to do is they're trying to program my body to get fat, say, oh, okay, you got fat, you had a heart attack. They're trying to program my body to get depressed, or this, or whatever they want my mind to think with these silent weapons. So, hey, guys, it's not going to happen. See, the thing with silent weapons is there's no proof. It doesn't leave any evidence. Oh, he had a heart attack. Oh, it was liver. Oh, this. But see, the thing is, there is proof. Parasitic host. Parasites. GMOs. What I'm doing right now is recording it. It can't be disputed, and I'm going to put it up on my Facebook and YouTube and put it so other people can listen to this. So thank you for your time. Thank you to the people that support me. Thank you to the wonderful ladies that support me. I love all of y'all. Y'all are so beautiful. Get educated, stay intelligent, take care of your bodies, take care of your children. Oh, and ladies, I'd like to point out to all you ladies that have babies, please, I humbly, strongly urge you, do not, I repeat, do not get wireless networks in your home. Let me tell you why. Because if you have a wireless network in your home, you're exposing your child to low frequency alpha waves and you're stunning your baby's brain growth. This is why the government has approved all of this wireless technology, cell phones, wireless keyboards, wireless mouses, wireless phones in your house, wireless connections. It is microwave technology. If you don't believe me, ladies, if you care about yourself, you care about your baby, and you care about your baby's health, if you've had a wireless network in your home while you've had a child, I don't know if there's anything you can do for that child except for biofeedback. Biofeedback can repair damaged tissue. Now, this is going to be very alarming to you, but I urge you to look this up and you'll probably cry. Because when I was in Romania, I had a friend, and he's very paranoid, but I thank him for being paranoid and crazy about his kid, but he looked it up. He went on the back of his wireless connection. It'll tell you the microwave output of that connection. So the microwave output of that connection is very high. So then go on the internet and look up the standards for microwave outputs to cook food. Now, what you will learn is the microwave output on your wireless connection is about 10 times higher. It's just slower. In a microwave, they bombard this frequency and compress it so it's like 2 minutes. In a wireless connection, say it's like 50 minutes. Expand that same frequency out, but even stronger. So do your research. I am Zakaos. Go to my Facebook, Zakaos Breed Love Ewing, and read my posts. Get educated. I'm sorry to break it down to you, but I mean, there are things you can do. Get a Rife. The food is toxic here in the United States. It's absolutely atrocious. I'm very blessed to have a Rife. The American government is going to pay for this because now there's proof. Now I'm showing scientists where to look, you evil bastards. Have a good day. Stay blessed. Peace.